All right.
Welcome to this next episode of Stories of Hope. We are so excited about sharing one of our favorite products. We've titled this Unleash the Power of Everything with the Everything Spray. We're going to talk about our Connect spray and share just a few testimonies and a little bit of a few things that are going to help you along your journey and your health. Okay, so I had actually said, please let me use my testimony for the Soul Connect. We use it for everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. When I change the sheets on the bedding, I actually use the Connect spray all over the mattress. You know, we know that it is antibacterial, antifungal, antimicrobial. And we also know that when we do our, when we're sleeping is when we do our best healing. So why not put the Connect spray all over the beds? When I have company coming, I spritz that all over the sheets and the bedding and into that room to make sure that that room is freshened up. But my favorite testimony with the Soul Connect is when I have a teenager. Many of us have teenagers, and sometimes they want to make their own decisions. And as a mom, we're like, okay, we need to support this. And I'll remember we were in Florida when the Connect spray came out, and at this time, one of our kids did not want to go to Florida with us because there was other things to do at home. And I remember getting that Connect spray at the meeting, and we started spraying that everywhere. And I'll have to tell you, I mean, we had the best time. We spent 10 days in Florida. There was no fighting. Everybody was just happy to be there. And it also allowed my teenager to kind of open up and move back home. He had moved out for just a little bit to go do some work. And it really connected us as a family. It connected us together. And I love that all the Soul products really do what their names say. And this product, it connects in relationships. So I love that about the Connect spray. I want you to ask yourself, how can I make the most of my Soul program? We know that following a program is really important. There's so many times that people kind of say, well, I'll just do whatever feels right at the time. Well, that's true, but there's a reason why there's a program. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce Valerie. And Valerie Bledsoe is one of our dear friends that is going to talk about how to get the most out of the Soul program and do what's best for your overall health. Physically, emotionally, and mentally. Go ahead, Valerie.
Thank you, Corinne. I absolutely love this part of working with people because they've made the decision to change their health and they're committed the time. And we want to help set them up to get the best results possible for their investment in the products. And I always take the time to educate them on something called Herring's Law of Cures, because as a society, we've come to expect instantaneous results from different types of medications. But when we're coming in nutritionally and working with our supplement products and nutritionally supporting the body has a different way when left to its own direction that it heals. And it is exactly the way it lays out here. The body heals from the head down, from within outwards, from the most important organ to a lesser important one, and the reverse order of its coming. And this is important because often the premier issue that someone is looking to address with their Soul program is the thing that they're focused on. And they have to understand that even though we logically or critically thinking that, hey, this is what we're going to get the results in first, the body knows because it works on divine order. It knows how to heal. But often the changes are coming in a different direction, in a different way than maybe we're looking for, which is often one reason why we'll have them list their different symptoms, what's going on, date it, and engage it. And then I'll have them go back and look at that list in 45 days and reevaluate, because then they're really seeing all the different ways that the program's working. So they're realizing the full benefits and just how broad spectrum that our program is. Now, how do we support those supplements and the soul formulas while the body's healing? Well, the first thing is making certain that they have plenty of hydration. Now, often people will tell me, yes, I'm a great water drinker. Well, I've learned to ask, what does being a great water drinker mean to you? Because water is so important for healing. And they may say, oh, I easily drink the amount of water that they say I'm supposed to drink. So I will challenge them. Great. Fill up a gallon jug and pour your water out of it. That's where you're going to get it all day long while you're drinking. Don't change how you're doing anything. Just notice whether or not you are actually drinking that full amount that you think you are. Either it's going to confirm you're on the right track, or you're going to see where you need to step up your game and adjust. And remember, hydration is important because it's going to allow the cells to actually do the cleaning, take the trash out, allow nutrition to come in. And an even better way maybe to understand the importance of hydration is if I give you a bucket of water and a bucket of, let's say, tea, which way are you going to best be able to mop the kitchen floor and clean it up? Well, everyone hands down is going to think the water. Well, the same thing with our body, because people have often told me, well, there's water in the tea. Well, the water's already saturated. And when we use plain water to mop the floor, we're going to pull up more dirt than we would with the tea. And again, we want to help those supplements to be able to do their job. So hydration is very important. Our next thing that is extremely important is sleep. If you do not get well rested and get good sleep, consistent sleep, your body is unable to go through a lot of the detoxing things that happen at night. For instance, the liver detoxes very effectively between 1 and 3 o'clock in the morning. And if you're not sleeping, then maybe you're up in work pulling an all-nighter, you're just not giving that body that rest. So it's not having to put the energy into functioning for the day, or the brain to think, or the energy for the body to move. Is actually able to take that energy to get in and help the body detox. And otherwise, we want that body to have that restorative opportunity, again, to utilize your protocol to the full benefits. And next, we talk about diet and digestion. So many times people will tell me, all right, how am I supposed to eat? What am I supposed to do? Depending on what's going on, that will be an individual approach, but regardless, helping what you're eating be as ideal as possible is always going to get you more and better results. But sometimes these people are already overwhelmed. So we may pick 1 or 2 things to help them focus on. Maybe they don't have a gallbladder, so they don't break down fats that well. Well, then I would challenge them to go out of their way to eat accordingly. Or maybe they have a gluten intolerance. Be rigid and keep that out of your diet while you are on this journey, so that it's easier to digest and get your nutrition. But remember that the more that you recognize the ingredients, whether you have the luxury and the opportunity to actually cook from home or not, the more you can recognize what is on those labels or what you're putting into your body when you're making it home, the happier your body will be, and the more, again, that it will be able to support this journey that you're on. And then our final thing that we're looking at is stress. Why is stress so important to pay attention to? I mean, after all, we have adaptogens in our protocols, right? Well, stress causes the body to go into fight or flight mode. And yes, not all stress can we control. And some days we're going to have to take more adaptable than others, or more vital than others, just to deal with what's going on. But the more we can lessen that impact of the stress, then the less the body is fighting to maintain. We want it to be able to drive its energy towards healing, or supporting that body coming into balance. Because remember, our formulas are designed to bring that body into homeostasis and ideal balance. And ideal balance for each of the systems of the body will allow it to do its job most effectively. Let's think, for instance, the urinary system. If we're supporting that as good as possible, alleviating distress, and the kidneys aren't hit as hard, then they're being able to more ably move out the toxins, utilizing that part of the elimination process. So all these things become important: water, sleep, diet and digestion, and stress, keeping that under control as much as possible. And remembering the direction of which the body heals is not always of what we expect, but it does not make any mistakes, and it is doing it exactly like it needs to. And the more support we can get it, the faster and better and more long-term of results we will achieve as a result.
Oh, Valerie, thank you so much. I love that you said that the body doesn't make mistakes. I love that. And it's going to do it in the order that it needs to. So that is a beautiful reminder. Now, let's go ahead and hear another testimony from Kristen Brunius. It looks like she uses it similar to I do. Kristen, go ahead and share what Connect Spray has done with you.
Yeah, so I wrote on here that Connect Spray checks all the boxes because it really does. Personally, I use it as a perfume, as a way to just, feel fresher, walk into it, smell the aroma. I love using it as a body spray, a way to help me keep calm. We even use it when we clean, and there's nothing better than when you clean your house and then you smell that throughout the whole house. But I have to tell a little story of when I really realized, when I unlocked the potential of the everything spray. And that was just like Corinne, the first time I tried it, we were able to purchase a bottle at one of our conventions, and I took it home. And this was during the COVID era. And so when I got on the airplane, we had to put a face mask over, and I'm a pretty anxious flyer to begin with. And that added a whole nother layer of anxiety for me personally. And so I remember looking at the Connect Spray and just thinking to myself, well, if I have to have this thing over my face, I might as well make it smell good. And so I sprayed the Connect Spray onto the mask. And what I found was it just calmed me. And as I was breathing that in the entire flight, it just really made everything a little bit more pleasant. So now, as I've continued to fly and that era is over, I still have the Connect Spray with me every single time I fly, every time I go anywhere. I have it in my car, I have one in my office, I have one in my kitchen, and I just have it everywhere. And so it really is for everything. And it checks all the boxes.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I agree. And I think I remember you calling me after that flight and letting me know how well you flew home because of that, those essential oils that are in there. So thank you so much for sharing that. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and visit with Greg Halliday. He is the president and founder of Soul Naturals. And Greg, we've been talking about the Connect Spray tonight. And what makes this product so unique?
Well, it's such an interesting product, Corinne, because I usually, one of our directives is to really kind of be innovative, kind of launching forward as we did with adaptogens and the way we formulate in every single formula to simultaneously nourish physical and emotional in a connection. So there are different objectives for products, but to achieve them, addressing nutritional needs holistically. And because of that, we sort of feel like, well, we don't sort of feel like it. We've got a goal of being innovative and moving forward rather than sort of being pulled forward, if that makes sense, as we come to understand more and more about health and how we operate. This is one case where Jennifer was asking us actually for several years to develop this spray. And I feel like we were trying to catch up with her vision, because it does have, someone already mentioned, I think it's 23 different pure essential oils, and they're blended in a particular way. So they're not just thrown in there. If you listen to Jennifer, and you really have to listen to her, we've heard her a few times, because she is so clear in the way she teaches that sometimes you can think, okay, I get it, but you have to think about it a little bit more, or at least I do. She talked about the Connect Spray, tying it into her compass. What's the word? It's not a philosophy, but it's a procedure for blending, where she compares different health aspects to a compass and the directional display of a compass, north, south, east, and west. And this is what she did to kind of explain to us how she's blending and why the gaps are important to fill. So to me, the gaps would be like between north and east. You know, you don't just have northeast, which is right in the middle. You have pushing towards north and pushing towards east, and every delineation in between. Well, she called this the everything spray, because I think what she did is she used that approach with all of the oils. She's formulated in a way that only she knows. Now, we do, of course, know the blend, but why she did what she did is a lot of years of background in blending oils and knowing that this would be used in some particular ways, but could be used for many more ways than I think are evident when we first look at the spray. Because I think most people look at it and it's a great surface, spray, or a lot of the things that Kristen said, are ways that I've looked at it too. Probably not even as much as how Kristen's used it. But it's not just everything thrown in, it's actually everything carefully combined by someone who works with oils and has worked with them for 30 plus years. I'm not quite sure the total number of years with Jennifer. And so that's the first thing to know. It is pretty carefully put together. Secondly, the way it was put in a spray and blended with other necessary carriers in a mix exactly the way Jennifer wanted it, so that it carries, but it is also something that's kind of safe for whatever use you're gonna take it and use it for. That was another important thing to her and to us. I think I'm a little surprised that a lot of people, I think those that were at events and could hear how Jennifer talk about it, we have this view of Connect Spray way up here. But I think an average person looking at it really needs to have someone show them and explain them a little bit behind it to kind of see its brilliance, because it is really a pretty remarkable product that has very many uses, and it's the only product in spray form. We can do that, and we can make our own, right, of the oils, and we can make our own blends. But not too often do you have access to someone with the years and the expertise that Jennifer has in combining. And when I can get her to combine instead of me, I love it, because I've got that extra peace of mind that, okay, this is done about as well as you can do it. And I think the point that I wanted to end with is just how many essential oils are in that. Literally 23 to me. It checks a lot of boxes. And we try to keep our approach at Solle with essential oils to be more simple: balance, calm, lift, and clarify. And then you have the compass blends, which are the roll-ons that come in there and are blends of these four areas. Sort of think of the compass: balance, calm, lift, and clarify in the four corners of the compass. And then you have Connect Spray filling all sorts of gaps in between all of those. That's sort of how I view it in a spray form. Very, very easy to use. So I hope that helps. We actually feel very fortunate to have this formula and have Jennifer as a formulator.
Oh, I completely agree. Thank you for sharing those things. Jennifer Pressimone is amazing and I don't know how many years it is either, but so amazing. Which brings me to the next question, Greg. I was going to ask you about Solle Naturals philosophy. And as I'm listening to you describe Jennifer, I was like, dude, I shouldn't probably say dude on here, but you're describing you guys, because that's, when I look at you, that's how I kind of see how you guys have formulated Solle's products, so, but tell us a little bit about, the philosophy behind Solle, just as you were talking about Jennifer.
Yeah, we do share the same philosophy. I think that's why from the early founding of the company, Jennifer was right there. I think that's what attracted her and what helped us feel what a perfect fit. So again, we feel so fortunate to be able to work with Jennifer. It is something unique about our philosophy. I think personal experience and a lot of study over many, many years. I'm somewhat sheepishly announcing that I'm in my 4th decade of this great industry, because I'm at 30. Let's see, this is my 32nd year or I've almost finished 32nd and going in my 33rd year. So I'm in that 4th decade. And it's been a lot of learning from a lot of wonderful people that has influenced how I look at this, and had a great influence, those experiences, not just reading and with science and sources and suppliers. That was a piece of it. I would say the bigger piece was being exposed to so many knowledgeable people who actually utilized herbs, some in a really super simple way, some in a little more complicated way, but still to great success. And so seeing all these different approaches had a pretty significant impact on our philosophy. One of the things it taught me is so often people give up because they don't see something soon enough, like anything that makes them feel like this is helping me, this is addressing something. Another thing I learned early on is that plants really do always work. In fact, there was a booklet written by one of the friends that I think Valerie would remember. It was entitled that Herbs Always Work. And I thought, whoa, that's kind of an audacious statement. But the author went on to explain that the reason he said that, because if we get the right combination, and I'm kind of paraphrasing what I took from it, if you get the right herbs and you get enough of them and they're pure and you take them long enough, back to what Valerie talked about, and you emphasize the body doesn't make any mistakes. It's going to work on things in the right order, and you're going to see it in the order that it needed to happen. So you may see the thing that you're looking for last, and you're going to see 3 other things first that you weren't looking for if someone helps you see those. So there's a unique way when we work with the body instead of trying to force things with a synthetic. And we try to stay so far away from the drug approach, not because we hate drugs. As you know, Donna, it was a necessary and an important bridge for her when she used Zoloft, but it wasn't her long-term solution. She knew that, and also she experienced that. But so the knowledge with herbs gave us certain things in our mind. And then I would say the last thing was Donna's experience. Boy, that hit home so hard. The impact of Valerie's 4th point today of stress, which impacts all of us in ways we see and feel and in ways we don't see and feel. But it's just part of it. It's what makes us strong, and it also impacts us. And it makes us strong. But we have to be able to give the body what it needs and replenish what we use up and fix what we're not getting, provide what we're not getting in diet and otherwise. In other words, we have to take action and do our part. But the good news is we can. And with nutrition and with herbs, we can unequivocally say that there are certain classes of herbs, adaptogens, that were made for this. So our philosophy, kind of keeping all of that in mind, boiled down to, something, there is a better way, a more visible, and I will say a stronger way to help someone nutritionally through herbs. And that is by always simultaneously nourishing physical and mental and emotional nutritional needs. That the body can improve itself and become better when we improve nutrition. Almost no one will argue that our mood and our mind can do the same. Most people have never heard and don't feel like that it can be, or if they do believe that, well, maybe over a longer time. And our message is that they both equally respond, but we have to give them the right things. So our philosophy is very simply to concentrate things so that you don't have to take as much to start to see something, to give people hope, in the formula. So we use a lot more concentrated extracts. We laugh at ourselves. We can't build a product without it being highly therapeutic. And I know there are times people like, just back off a little and give a little bit, but part of it is that's part of our philosophy, is to actually make a difference much sooner. It's much more cost effective than bouncing around with a little bit of everything and taking tons till you get there. And most people just give up. So one of them is concentrating. The second is making sure we address both physical and emotional in every single product. And I would say the third part of our philosophy equally important to the two I just mentioned is providing connection, human connection, a community where we give support. We share everything we learn. This journey to us is anything we can glean on everything that we do glean through science, through all sorts of information of experience. We pass all of it on so that everyone can make the same decisions about their own health that we can make. And that doesn't happen without community. It cannot happen just through us at the office. In fact, that would be scary if it had to come through us. But coming through all of you, I absolutely know it can happen because I've seen it and we see it. And when we get together and share, there's so much power in all of the experience. The part that we commit to is provide a place and a way for this to happen, for people to be part of that type of a business, and then provide products that always dually strengthen both body and mind. That's a long answer for philosophy, but at least hopefully you can see a little bit about where we're coming from, because I hate to always say the one sentence or two, even though it probably is simpler. But I think when people hear, oh, we always nourish both body and mind. Okay, well, there is a lot more to it than that. But anyway, maybe I need to learn to be more brief, Corinne. There you go.
No. And Greg, I love that that's what you said in the parts that you brought up about work with the body nourishing itself rather than forcing it. Because right now some people just really are trying to force a lot of things that if they just gave their body what it needs, our bodies are amazing. They can heal, the way that it's supposed to. So no, I love that. And what you shared about the philosophy. Now we'll go ahead and close up with a business testimony. This is from Katie Sheehy. This is my daughter. And I love that she shared this with me just a couple of days ago, because I was planning, who was going to be talking on some of these. And I thought, oh, guess what? Katie's going to share this testimony, hopefully. So actually, I didn't even ask her. I just made the slide for Kristen help me and said, would you please talk? So Katie, share a little bit about, what you've had throughout the business opportunity with Solle.
So a few years ago, I started, I've been taking products since the beginning, but I got married, so I started paying for the products myself. And my goal was to be able to buy my products. And flash forward to like the last 6 or 8 months, I've been really trying to work more, but I was able to not only save enough to where I can pay for my products for me and my 2 girls who won't go to bed without their Renew every night. Can I have my nighttime juice, Mom? I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a very expensive thing that my 3 and 2-year-old have, but I wanted to be able to pay for those. But not only can I pay for my products every month, but I've been saving up to where my husband and I are going to go to Vegas for a week, and I was able to pay for a big portion. And I'm just grateful for not only what the products have done for me and my girls, but also like the opportunity that I have to, I don't know, pay for a fun trip for my husband and I. So.
Oh, thank you. I love that, because when we're stay-at-home moms, sometimes we're like, we just want to contribute a little bit. And when you can contribute some of the fun things too, it just adds the value, because it's like, I'm doing a lot of things here. So thank you so much for sharing. I really do appreciate that. We want to go ahead and just thank everybody for coming tonight. And we just want you to know that we are always looking for people to join our Solle family. We have such a community and a connection that we just love. We love when new people get started and start taking part in these stories of hope and being able to give hope to others through some really amazing products. But what I would like to suggest is, if you have heard some things tonight and you want to go ahead and get started with Solle, get with the person that invited you here. They will be able to answer all your questions. And if they can't, someone that's on this call or someone from the home office will be able to help them. And we're always looking for more stories to share. I don't think McKatie thought, oh, I'm going to share this with my mom and I'm going to talk 2 days later. but that's the way that it worked out. We love hearing the success stories of the business and their products. And we just want you to know that your story is important and it could touch someone's life. So please reach out to us, share your story with us so that we know, that there is someone out there that's probably looking for something similar. And again, thank you again for being part of us tonight. And be sure to join our Stories of Hope on Facebook. That is where this will run every Monday. And if you want little reminders to remind you of, 15 minutes before the call starts, just text HOPE to 1-866-256-1970. And we just want you to know, again, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next